So Jesus gives the instructions. He tells you the how and the what and the where. You follow and you'll be assured success. Now my testimony doesn't mean that you're going to do the same way I did. You know, people look at us and say, well, Pastor, how did you get into the ministry? Kicking and screaming. Okay. But just because that's the way I went, doesn't mean that's the way the next person is going to go. Just because we started up with a group in our home and we didn't even know that we had a church going, doesn't mean that that's how the next person is going to start. Just because we had 35, 40 people showing up at our house twice a week, doesn't mean it's going to work that way for everybody else. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend that way for most people. But that's the way it went with us. Oh, and then we rented a place, and then we bought a building, and then we expanded, and we kept growing. But that doesn't mean it's going to work that way with the next person. Now, people say, well, it worked for Pastor Ben, it's got to work for me that way. That's not what God says. God says you find the way to fulfill your calling, and then you start moving on that way. See, my testimony doesn't mean you're going to do it the same way. I know when I bought my wife, and I got your attention. We've told this story before, but when I first wanted my wife to go out with me, and she didn't want to go out with me, she didn't get no. So I asked her out, and she said no. And I started praying, saying, God, what's this? No! My dog and I have something in common. My dog does not believe that the word no is an actual word. You say no, and she thinks that means try another way. So she said she wouldn't go out with me. So I said, okay, God, well, if we're going to get her to go out with me, I have to get her to go. We've got to do this. So I brought my wife a marble. She still has it. This is worth one life. I put it in her hand and she says, what's this about? I said, every time you see it today, every time I look at it, think of me. That night I asked her out again. She said, yes. The rest, as they say, is history. Shortly after that, we ended up getting engaged. We ended up getting married. It was about 26 years in April. We'll be 26 years together as husband and wife. But you know, that doesn't mean that you should go buy marbles now. And anyway, there's like 101 in a bag of marbles. What are you going to do with the other 100? But you know, pass by marbles.
Shotgun effect.
Pass my marbles into a crowd and see what happens. My testimony about how it worked doesn't mean that that's going to work for the next person. The next guy's going to try and bring a girl a marble, and she's going to think, yeah, he's lost his. This is going to be your last one. You better hold on to it.
No, so
I don't know. But you know, people will do that. They hear about how it worked for one person. Well, now I'm going to go try that and see if that'll work for me. What is God telling you? He's made you different than everybody else. There isn't a, God isn't a cookie cutter God. He didn't go chomp, 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 chomp. There we have a bunch of Christians now. Look how nice they look. Each one of us is going to be different. Each one of us has different call. Each one of us has different abilities, different gifts. Use what you are. Use who you are to fulfill God's call. You know, it used to be very popular if somebody got born again. Well, it still is in some places. When somebody gets born again, you can tell the next week, oh, guess which church they're going to. They look like something that got stamped out of a cookie machine. It was no good. God doesn't want you to change who you are. He wants to take who you are and turn that into using it for Him.
Amen.
And I thank God He did, because I don't think the world can handle Him anymore of me.
Amen.
Who are you? So we end up using who we are, and we start serving God the way we are. Now, just because you hear somebody else's testimony, if you're a single man and you're today and you're going out and buying marbles tomorrow, you got deeper problems than you know. Then you should come and see me. We'll talk. So, where was I? So God will release His gifts and His abilities in me to bring His will to pass in my life. If I'm just trying to duplicate what somebody else has done, I believe that most times I'm going to fall. And that's why Peter writes here, he says, make your gifts, make your calling and your election sure, and then you're not going to have to worry about falling. So we see a need in the church. We can get involved, and God's going to bless us there. Now this is the other part. Some people think, well, I'm not sure if I've been called to that ministry, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and wait until I find my ministry. Have you ever tried to move a parked car? Come on.
Yes.
I have. I had a grandmother that had a nice little car that needed to be moved all the time when I was around. And she didn't give me the keys for it, so I moved it otherwise. But that's another story. It's hard to move a parked car. But once you start it up and you get in there and you start driving, it's very easy to get that car to go wherever you want it to go. Because it becomes self-powered. Well, the same thing happens to a lot of Christians. We're sitting on our bench. We're sitting in our chair. We're not moving, so God is going to have to move me. When He wants me to do something, He'll just have to show me and put me in that place. No,
not
we'll
gonna
start
happen.
moving. If you see a need in the church, you can say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get involved. I'm going to start doing this. There's a need that I need in the kids' church. I'm going to start in the kids' church. There's a need in the janitorial. I'll sound booth. I'll start doing this because there's a need here that I can start. That's something I can do. And you're going to find that the call of God is going to become much clearer to you when you get involved somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because until you get involved, you haven't made it yours yet. So take your call, take the place, see a need, get doing it. Now that doesn't mean you're going to be there the rest of your life. Well, it looks to you that we need somebody to come in and straighten the chairs again after prayer on Sunday mornings. Okay, well then do it. Now that doesn't mean for the rest of your life you'll be straightening chairs, but it does mean that you're getting involved. And now God can start moving. I have found in the scriptures very few examples of people that were laying on the beach suntanning where God called them. In fact, I don't know any. They were involved. They were working. Now, Peter and James were on the beach, but they were fishing. Jonah was on the beach, but he took the submarine ride to get there. But you don't find people just laying on the beach saying, oh, well, once God called us, we're going to go. No, they were doing something. They were involved. Elijah was busy plowing when Elijah came along and called him to the ministry. Well, you would have thought you'd just go down to the coffee shop. There's lots of guys, they're not doing anything. We're going to call one of them. Because that's not the people God's looking for. God's looking for the people that are getting involved, that are going to do something, that are going to take a part of it, and they're going to move ahead. So when we see a need in the church, we can get involved and God will bless us there. Now, if we have the right attitude, if we have the heart of a servant, whatever we do can become a ministry. People get so confused with the word ministry. They think ministry means pulpit. Anything you're doing in the church can become a ministry depending on your heart attitude. So you can check for yourself. Are you involved in a job in the church? Or are you involved in a ministry in the church? See, some people have a job in the church and others have a ministry. What's the difference between a job and a ministry? The job, well, I'm going to go through a whole bunch of things here, but one of the main things is the heart. How do you see it?
Well, I don't know why I always have to lead worship. I always have to lead worship. Nobody else will lead it.